So what do we have here?
Well,
something different, Pete.
Something a little bit different from us. We did a synth, and we said we were going to do drum machines, and here's an R&D prototype. It's obviously based upon one of our favourite drum machines of all time, the 808. Very, very similar. Really,
I mean, it's big. It's not little,
well,
is it?
It's heavy as well. It kind of reminds me of my favourite drum machine, which is a 626, which is something I remember buying as a teenager. But we've done a lot of modifications to it. We've got a filter on it, a really nice filter, and we've got a wave designer, which is basically a transient designer, parallel compressor, which is really, really good. We've got a shocking number of outputs, which again reminds of my old 626 days.
Individual outputs, right?
Yeah, and there's loads of ways you can route things, which is interesting. And just kind of a bit of a revamp, really.
So what is it? Is it analog?
It's absolutely analog, yeah. The whole thing's analog, yeah.
Apart from presumably the transient shaper, or is that?
That's analog as well.
Oh, okay. So, and the filter, what's the filter then?
Filter's based upon, it was just done by Mr. Moffat in the office, which is, another design by him, so that's cool. And Dave did the firmware for the...
Right, this is a production prototype. I notice you've got this rather charming yellow Tipex.
Yes,
I think you should keep it.
Well, I like it too, yeah. Well, obviously you can see it's a work in progress, but we're actually at a really advanced stage with this now.
Does it make a sound?
Should we actually, let's take
I'm asking like I don't know. Yeah, it does.
Let's have a listen. So, here we go. So let's listen to the filter, Nick.
So that's the same as this neutron two-pole filter then, effectively, is it? Right, okay.
Yeah. Well, wave design. I didn't even blow your speakers out with this one, you know.
We'll turn it up a bit then. Oh my god. Right, so that's like a transient designer, that's giving it a little bit of wallop.
And you can assign anything. So in this sense, it's acting as a bus compressor. So you can assign multiple things to the bus compressor. Why you would want to kind of put a rim shot on there, but I don't know. But again, it gives you a sonic palette, it gives you a lot of choice. Because I mean, the original thought behind that was most people with an 808 would have put it through a compressor straight away on the kick drum.
Right, so you can put everything through it, or you could just put individual.
Yeah, absolutely. So because most people would have put a compressor on the kick drum. We've got a swing, of course, which was on the original. We've got a flam, which you saw in later models. Lots of interesting things and tap tempo. Probably not functional at the moment, but yeah, wanted to show you and.
Cool. And it's the same sort of pattern memory and USB kind of business. What's happening with the USB?
Yeah, it's all there.
Is USB for MIDI or audio?
Yeah, well, it'll have MIDI via USB.
And there's quarter-inch outs as well, aren't they? So
they are. Well, yeah. I mean, that was the thing I didn't want to do. I wanted to put proper jack fields rather than the little ones. But that's the clocking, if you remember.
Okay, right. So, I mean, obviously, we haven't got any direct audio on this because it's still work in progress, and there's a bit of this and that.
Yeah, this and that.
So, I mean, this is available when? I mean, when's this going to be happening?
Yeah, well, we're in a TMS at the moment, which is our nomenclature for tool-made sample. Typically, we're sort of a month, 2 months away from mass production at that point. So, yeah, I'm thinking we're probably going to ship this in August.
Okay, right, and I guess the big question is also, I mean, Behringer aren't going to make this to be €2,000, I'd imagine. Or I could be wrong.
I do believe I have a phrase for that now. I think we'll be competitive.
Okay. Have we got the clap there? The clap's always one that you've got to check. Come on,
let's have a look. Let's have a look. That was like a clap, Nick.
That is a clap, I will say. Cowbell. Anyway, cowbell, surely though. Yeah, that's a lot of clap. I don't know, can you have too much clap? I think it's possible.
Oh,
So have you added anything like real-time record or any of that kind of stuff, or you just kept it exactly the same sort of step input that people are going to know and love?
Dave, who's doing the firmware, He's really into drum machines, and he's got a whole workflow he wants to do on this. So that's kind of, I mean, it's his gig really. That's what he wants to do. So I mean, at some point in the future, you know.
So I guess that's like a software level, isn't it? So I mean, the analog electronics and the kind of operating system are going to be separate.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, but those two things are different. But he's definitely bringing a real modern workflow.
So the filter, high pass, and is that across the whole bus, or across the stereo master, or is that a bus-based thing?
Yeah,
as well?
it's across the whole bus. Yeah.
So it's just like across the main amps, and that's it for now.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Pete. I think you should play another beat.
All right. Yeah.
Jackmaster.